Give it up for him one more time. Come on. You know, one of the most impactful weeks in the life of a kid or student here at Central is camp. I don't know if you've ever been a part of a camp or sent your kids to camp, but I can tell you as a dad, and I've talked to hundreds and hundreds of moms and dads here at Central, they'd say camp was responsible for their son or daughter giving their life to Jesus, and camp was also responsible for their son or daughter making it life-changing and many times life-altering decision in their life. I mean, think about it. You set aside that week, and God just seems to show up in a powerful and special way at camp. And so you and I have about a month before we launch our first camp here. And it's going to be an awesome experience. We're asking the Central family to join us in praying for camp, but also participating in by helping financially resource and help scholarship students who couldn't go to camp if it weren't for the generosity of the Central family. And I want you to meet this weekend Richard. Richard has a heart to help students, but let me tell you a little bit about his story. He was invited by his friend Mary to come to Central. He shows up, and God shows up in his life. He gives his life to Jesus, gets baptized, goes to the first step and second step, plugs into the life of this church, and God's just really impassioned him to use his generosity, because he's a generosity rock star, to give generously to make an impact in the student world. Richard, explain why students? Why do you have such a passion for them?
Well, I remember when I was growing up in Brooklyn, New York a long time ago, and I remember that I was never exposed to, God's message and having the opportunity to meet Jesus Christ as a child. So I thought to myself, perhaps if I could be a blessing to somebody else, that it would make my life more worthwhile, make my existence more worthwhile to be able to send children to summer camp.
Well, and he's done that. And you know, what I love about Richard, he's been open to take his skills and gifts and for God to use them. And one weekend in particular, he's at Central, and God speaks to him. He says, I want you to write a book, and I want you to use the resources of that to further my kingdom. So he goes on a 7-year journey, maybe some of the most spiritual, impactful times in your own life, obstacle after obstacle, spiritual warfare. It was a tough 7 years to write this book, but God bless you, you wrote it, and God's using it. In fact, he's prayerful that one day they're going to turn the book into a movie, and he wants to continue to use his resources to help advance God's work in that next generation's life. And in fact, he has blessed you. And this year, Richard gave enough to sponsor an entire busload of kids to go to camp. He just felt inspired to do that. Isn't that awesome?
Michael, thank you so much. The book and the movie actually take place here at Central. It's called Old Timers Day, and we're going to be donating all the proceeds from the book to the student summer camps.
So that's just so good, man. Well, I love that kind of heart. And Richard's here this weekend to say to all of us, hey, join him in the generosity part of being a part of a student's life. That's why at the end of our experience today, you're going to find our generosity team in red shirts. Maybe you're like Richard, God's blessed you, you could sponsor a whole busload, or maybe you're just at a point where you can give $5, but every gift matters, and every gift will send a student to camp that their life will be changed forever. And you can give by credit or debit card at the end of our experience. You can give in the plate when it's passed. But Richard, we say to you, thank you for being an inspiration to all of us. Thank you for using your gifts and talents here at Central. And thank you for being such a dear friend to all of us. And let's celebrate Richard for all that he's done in the life of students.
Thank you very much, and God bless you, Central Church. Mike, thank you, Mike.
Yeah, you bet. God's up to so many great things in the life of our student ministry. We're so thankful for every one of them. Check it out.